Welcome back, everyone. This has been a long series, and we are just about to wrap it up. This is the series between Revive Me Jet and Tactical Throwers. We saw it go back and forth in our previous two maps, Haven and Breeze, and now finally the crowning moment for one of these two teams to make it into semis. We're going to be heading off to Ascent. Delta, what do you think about Ascent? I mean, do either of these teams really have advantage?
I, this can be anyone's game. We've spoken about how close these maps have been. As you've seen, the series is super close. And Ascent is the most popular map that is played with these teams. So the previous Game Changers, Ascent has been a top pick. So these teams know how to play Ascent. Even yesterday, the teams both played Ascent and they were able to win their maps on Ascent, and those games were close as well. So basically, what I'm trying to say, this can be anyone's game. I have no idea who's going to take this series.
I think it was kind of shocking for me at least that these two teams, neither one of them banned Ascent. As you mentioned, they were very close matchups yesterday. I mean, we got 13-10 two times for Revive Me Jet. They won one and they lost one, and then the 11-13 score line that Tactical Throwers almost lost. So it's going to kind of be a coin toss. I think there's a chance that we go into overtime in map three.
Yeah.
But both of these teams have to bring their A game as we roll on to our final map in the series, and we're finally going to be able to see who makes it into that semifinal matchup. This is their last chance to prove that they deserve that spot.
Yeah, I mean, with what we've talked about before, Revive Me Jet being a team made up of members of NMG Celeste and then two new members, so Icy as well as Brain Blast, both of them doing great work to play with the squad. Icy again being the top of the leaderboard. The last game, believe so, not 29 and 11. Didn't quite hit the 30 mark like yesterday, but still impressive nonetheless. So going to be challenging for Tactical Throwers. They're going to have to give their A game to try to take home this series.
Yep, and so we're going to bring you guys over into Ascend, our last map, our last look at who we're going to see in terms of agents. Already a lot of quick lock-ins. I'm seeing Yoja on the Brimstone as their standard controller. Not a surprising pick, but used to never be played on Ascent, and now Brain Blast joining Yoja with that pick. Are we going to see another mirror composition, Delta?
That is interesting. I thought Brain Blast played Omen yesterday, so the fact that they're willing to switch agent, it's a little scary that they're that versatile. But good to see that they're able to adjust their strats, knowing that they're going to have to bring everything to fight against Tactical Throwers. So we're going to see a different gameplay from Revive Me Jet, in that the Omen, able to throw out the paranoia. You're able to play with the Jet a little bit more in terms of that combo play. So I don't know how this Brimstone pick is going to work for this team.
I do kind of love it. I am a Brimstone stan, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the one detriment to his kit is the smokes can only really be placed from so far, and they do not regenerate. So as soon as those three smokes are out, then that's all you get. And on such a large map like Ascent, where mid control is prime territory, that might be a little bit difficult for the Brims to control.
Yeah, well, we do see in mid the typical alarm bot being placed in mid, trying to get that control. Meanwhile, Tactical Throwers making some noise in A. So so the Killjoy utility, having that turret there to block any of the aggression Revive Me Jet is known for.
All this presence coming down catwalk, not really sure if they are expecting this. Brain Blast taken down initially by Satyr, opening up fully A site. There's still a few members who are over on A. Satyr, yeah, just swinging around that getting pushed by too many angles, and this door has been closed, so if Clutch wants to push through it, they are going to have to shoot it down and break it. The two teammates on the side of Revive Me Jet going to be attempting that push from heaven, but all of these angles are being held very well by tactical throwers. They know exactly what's going on. GG getting that first pick though, evening out the numbers, taking down another one, and suddenly it's just down to Juna. Wow, what a brilliant retake we just saw.
It was brilliant, and the two people you want to, or the one person you want to have left for sure is Fad on the retake, but the Silva and the KO, great information was gained so that they were able to do that retake. Tactical throwers, did like their approach on the attack. You saw the turret again being placed right side outside of A, making enough noise, and then deciding to roll through the tree room. So it was a good approach, but Revive Me Jet just was able to pull one over on them.
And the setup from GG over on B still has yet to be tested as this full stack on A is going to progress again. Icy spotted out, didn't have a dash to continue holding that angle with the Marshall. Yocha? Wait, okay, just pushed into all of that utility and ended up dying at the end there, but Satyr trading one out a little bit later with that shorty. And now Clutch attempting to spray through the door yet again. This is going to be a full retake attempt. First pick from Icy looking great onto Juna, the Marshall doing some great work. But the coordination has to come through. Satyr shorty doing a ton of damage there, but not enough to get a full kill. And wow. Wow. I'm loving the retake so far from tactical throwers.
Great retake. They did have the weapons advantage, and of course the Marshall being on Icy, those long-range weapons are dangerous. But tactical throwers are throwing everything at them to try to neutralize these aggressive plays. So you saw the knife come out. It took Icy off of their deep angle onto the A site, and it worked for a while. They weren't able to dash out, but were able to regroup and still get a pick. So Revive Me Jet this time around, again, we see the aggression coming out as they're posted off with both B and mid.
A lot of presence again over on A, but this prediction from Revive Me Jet has not paid off. They full stacked B and pushed out, but now they're going to be forced into yet another retake on this A site, which has gone decently well for them in the past. At least tactical throwers is going to be able to secure the plant, and they are preparing for this 5-man retake. The spray down does a little bit of damage there from that wine location, but Juno spotted out by Fad, and the shock dart securing the kill. Two players with low HP, one for each side, but the spike continues to tick down. Has to be a fast hit from Revive Me Jet. So far, not going to happen. And although it was close, a third brilliant retake is not going to be possible for that one.
Yeah, it was close. They were able to get some guns out of their hands and that beautiful dart into wine to try to bring things a little bit closer. But nonetheless, that gamble at the start of the round didn't pay off. So for this next round, full set of rifles on hand, an operator in the hands of Icy, being posted in mid with the KO, so probably going to push that with some flash setup.
Tons of util already being thrown out in mid. As I said earlier, these smokes in mid are going to be very powerful. Icy completely cut off from that angle, and the operator denied, essentially. And so now Junifor maybe gonna make her way down in mid to capitalize on that space. Actually, that just forced the operator to rotate all the way over to this location, and the first pick does come out, Satyr falling. So instead of the operator doing tons of damage in mid, it has rotated now to lane, and it is the one last line of defense between tactical throwers in sight.
Yeah, and all this data being gathered from the other team, tactical or Revive Jet are able to already make the rotates right before they can even get on site.
Still, Icy has not backed up off of that angle. Wow! Brilliant pick again. Has to back up on it, but I okay, like Icy and the operator Delta, I don't know if you could get a more perfect pair.
Oh, it's a match made in heaven. You would think, okay, tactical throwers put a smoke down mid, trying to neutralize the op. That was a great call because it looked like they were set up for a flash play. You can already see that they were antsy trying to push the smoke, but they said, you know what, never mind. Let's just regroup. And they decided to push an angle on the B site, get so many picks, the first pick, the second pick, not even allowing tactical throwers to try to get the spike down. So that being said, the tactical throwers are on a timeout. Try to figure out and experiment with some other way to shut down this operator.
And I like that they are taking this timeout so early in the round. I think they are more aware that they cannot continue to let this map get away from them as they did in that previous map, because this is map 3, right? Like this is the last chance for them to make it into that semifinal round. So having a timeout this early allows them to kind of discuss what has been going on, even if it has just been 4 rounds. They don't want it
Placing
to
sentry.
continue the way that it has been going, and they want to change the course of this map earlier rather than later.
Well, with tactical throwers, they do have a few ultimates close to being ready. They're probably going to play for this orb and try to see if they can salvage some things out of this round. They could pop the orbital strike and, well, the blade storm being popped to try to get on the side.
The dash from Satyr does not actually hit the top of the generator, but it doesn't matter because all of these picks are going in favor of tactical throwers. Icy forced to pull out the Blade Storm, but is too far back off of sight to do anything with it. Satyr, the one with the lowest HP, 2 HP in fact, and gonna be hiding in hell, waiting to stop the retake attempts that is going to certainly commence for Revive Me Jet. Icy still has the Blade Storm, and oh my
No.
gosh, no way that Yoja does this. It's the stick from Clutch.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
What?
I think
No!
that was like milliseconds of being a win for Yoja.
So close! Oh my gosh. That was so close. Yoja has been popping off, almost able to clean that round by the skin of her teeth, but unfortunately not able to do so. So another round going to Revive Me Jet. They're also looking real good this round. 4 ultimates available. Lock down Orbital Strike as well as KO's ultimate to try to slow down this push, which seems to be coming at the B site.
Oh, and immediately Icy notes the presence over on this B site and is not afraid to hold this angle with that assistance from Fad of the recon bolt. They seem to be very aware of the location that Tactical Throwers is attempting to take advantage of. Brain Blast, the only one in tree as this rotate occurs. More presence in mid now than we have seen in previous rounds. And Icy thinking about almost pushing down into garage. But maybe this is just going to be a delay from Tactical Throwers and they are going to re-hit B. I think at this point it's just they're thinking about where to go. They are not exactly sure. They haven't settled.
Uh, okay, at least they were able to clean that corner out, and they're trying to slow down the aggression from Ice. You see, they put a turret, that didn't work.
Yes, a lot of mid presence continuing. The orbital strike does come through, but Brain Blast pushing out of tree, nearly spraying down one more there. But instead, it is Icy who is the last one alive. Kea, oh, I don't even know how Icy knew that Kea was there, but it doesn't matter. Grabbing that headshot, gonna continue to attempt to retake this alone.
Blocking sight.
Not a lot of util left in Yoja peeking from that heaven location. securing a second round for tactical throwers.
Okay, so tactical throwers able to put one more on the board, and you can see them using their utility quite well to try to slow down this aggression. So I mentioned the turret being placed. Icy, you described her as them as not being afraid. They
Mhm.
continue to push. So, and another alarm bot was placed there to try to slow things down. So these small attempts seem to be working. Tactical throwers are in the weapons advantage and full sending towards the base site.
Exactly what is going on, but who is on this site ready to defend against this push? It is the Sheriff in the hands of Icy, but Satyr, better gun, just taking them down, and suddenly we are at a 3v5. Make that a 2v5, and that spike going to be planted very, very quickly. This is looking nearly impossible for REBIBE, JETT, Fab, last one standing, Ghost versus Shorty. I'm really hoping that Fad does push out here. We shall see though. Oh, the Molly does a lot of damage there, forcing Fad to rotate off of that angle. Gonna back up, and now it's just a matter of time. Who's gonna push out and capitalize on it? It is Kea snagging that headshot, and suddenly the lead is just one round.
Right, tactical throwers inching back into this, and you can see they took full advantage of their weapons advantage, blazing onto the site. They were able to use a VKO ultimate to try to stop any form of defense, and it worked out beautifully. So B site seems to be working. They're gonna try it again. And Icy is posted mid to catch out any potential rotates. And they're gonna have to get through all this KJ util to get onto the site.
But guess what Icy has yet again, has that operator in hand and is thinking about pushing out on this flank, sees the tip of the gun there, and Juna, not knowing that it's an operator on the other side of that wall, swings out, unfortunately. But we do have the lockdown come out that should have secured the entrance, at least onto B. The Hunter's Fury from Fad taking one down, attempting to again capitalize and get any kills possible to make this retake even more possible. GG getting that kill on to Satyr. Zoe holding down sight brilliantly though. There you go, the spray down. I thought for sure that Revive Me JETT was gonna have that round, but there you go, tactical throwers evening up our scoreline.
Wow. Tactical throwers. That was an amazing game amazing round from Satyr and Zoe. Were able to make that round so expensive for Revive Me JETT. That's why they're calling this timeout. They invested both the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury to try to slow tactical throwers, but tactical throwers, they have a new swing to them. They are so aggressive in these site pushes. They realize that that's what they're going to have to do to try to get onto site and try to get the pull over Icy and Fad.
Yes, and they had a really strong start, right? They had 3 defuse wins. Their retakes seemed to be unstoppable, and now suddenly I think Tactical Throwers has changed the way that they are allowing these retakes. They are holding aggressive angles instead of, hiding around corners. They are choosing to take 1v1 battles, and I think that's a good move from tactical throwers. They're kind of showing that they do have the gun skill, they have the ability to hit these headshots, and they're denying those retake attempts from Revive Me JETT. I think that's a great play from them.
Yeah, you can also see them neutralizing the operator as best as possible with things like the turret, with the alarm bot, so they're able to make sure Icy's not flanking around the back with the operator trying to get a pick. You can see them trying that again this time around. They're really passive behind this turret, making sure Icy's not going to poke out of garage, but now they seem to be assured that they won't be pushing out and making their own attempt into garage.
slow start from Tactical Throwers. They are just now making their presence known on B, and this rotate from Revive Me Jett is going to come out very, very quickly, but too late to stop the plant from commencing on that B site. Yojug gonna be able to stick it very easily here. But now this is the chance for Revive Me Jett to show a different retake. They are yet again presented with the chance to get the lead if they're able to retake this quickly. And 4 out of the 5 of these members have rotated into Garage and are going to attempt from Garage. It's almost better to have more spread out defenders when they're trying for a retake attempt, but all 5 members of Tactical Throwers are holding from on site.
Right, that Hunter's Fury slowed down the retake. Time is ticking. It's going to be difficult to get their hands on the spike.
I don't think it's possible anymore. You hear the spike in the background, but just how many lives will it take?
Oh my gosh.
All but one. The
Barely.
standing. Icy. Able to secure the rifle, but not much more.
Wow. It's rarely you see the whole squad just go down to the spike like that. But that just shows you how close these rounds are getting. So that Hunter's Fury from Junior was placed beautifully because, like you were saying, many of the players were trying to retake through Garage, and that gamble just helped slow things down. And Tactical Thrower is now in the lead. Things are looking up for them, and another slow and passive round on for this initial take.
Satyr opening up this round with the pick onto Clutch. That is a great pick because that is the KO player, and now Icy also having fallen. This just seems already kind of down the drain for Revive Me Jett. 2 of their most powerful players have been taken down. Satyr, oh my gosh, with the push right when the bullets stopped spraying, knew that that player was in the middle of a reload and capitalizing on it. Now just 2 left. It is going to be down to GG as well as Fad, and I don't know how much they can do here with Kea on the lurk. Yeah, gonna be backing up.
Backing up turret just to make sure they're not going to be hunted out. It's great because definitely need to keep their weapons so that their economy isn't too damaged from that last round. So great round coming out from Tactical Throwers, able to get down, looks like 5 rounds in a row. You can see they're neutralizing Icy and the op perfectly. You can also see them just being a little bit a bit of a mix in terms of how much aggression they're showing. So one round they're just guns blazing onto site, another round a lot more passive. We saw them just holding right outside of B lobby for like 20 seconds. So this mix is what's throwing Revive Me Jett off, as well as, you know, if Icy's the first pick off the map, you just made your approach onto site that much easier. So Tactical Throwers doing great work to stay in this map.
And they are going to continue trying to get advantage, but Icy has something to say about that. Satyr taken down instead as the first pick with the double updraft. Icy suddenly getting aggressive, maybe trying to make their presence known a little bit more. And it looks like the hit is still gonna come over to A. I don't know if this is the right call by Tactical Throwers.
Well, Satyr's already off the map. Satyr's been the fragger that's been able to help them entry the site, but I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to get in.
And the hit has commenced. Oh my gosh. Even scoreline, even after that first pick on the Satyr, we've got a 2v2 lineup. The Swarm Grenade does not do any damage to either of these players, but yeah, both of them are going to be holding from hell, and I do not like this play at all because it is going to be easy to know where both of them are. Bad shock darting does not do any damage there. And so as soon as they jump down here, I don't know if the crossfire is going to be enough.
Last player standing.
Oh no.
1v1, 30 HP on GG. The headshot does not connect. Kea showing who the better KJ is and giving a 7th round, a
Last
guaranteed
round in the
advantage in the second half to Tactical Throwers.
Whew, that was a bit dicey there. Icy with that no fear type attitude, just updrafts into the sky and that initial pick. But Tactical Throwers weren't thrown off by that. They were able to continue that approach into A and keep this lead. Like you said, it's going to be a great advantage going into the second half. And they have 2 ultimates available to try to continue to stay in this half. But REBIBE JETT, look at them. They are so aggressive this round, trying to push Tactical Throwers back as much as possible.
They are doing exactly that, but at this point, Tactical Throwers has one less player, and with these 2 players holding from backside, Satyr, wow, taking down Gigi there. I don't know if they knew that Fad was there, but Zoe not taking any chances, swinging it out, hitting the headshot, and it is going to be a 2v4 retake in this last round. I don't know if REBIBE JETT has it in them. Clutch has a decent amount of utility, but not playing with their teammate Brain Blast, instead pushing through Market. Let's get that first headshot, so making it a little bit more possible, but Juna denying all of that, and now down to Brain Blast. 62 HP, all of the util being thrown in her general direction, and just came down to the bullet that hit the head, and there we go, 8-4.
Okay. Wow. Tactical Throwers doing their best to stay in this series. We spoke a lot about Icy and Fad for the last few maps because they've just been a fragging power to admire. But it's interesting that Satyr has been the one at the top of the leaderboard for this half. So 15-8. Satyr's picks have been so valuable trying to get Icy off the board. And then as well, the rest of the other members have been able to neutralize the op through utilities. So the smokes, the turret, the knife as well. So Tactical Throwers, if they keep this up, they might take home the series.
I see instantly taken down in mid by Satyr, the Sheriff by already panning out to be a good idea. But where's the spike? It is actually going down B. Brain Blast taking 1 down, but now the spike has been dropped on the floor. And Satyr wanting more, hungry with the Sheriff. The sprays have not connected thus far, but it is still going to be advantage for the retake for Tactical Throwers. Spike planted at this point, but anything is still possible in the remainder of this round.
Yeah, but Kite is so low right now. It's going to be difficult to stay in with the health that low.
That is the thing that we have to think about as well. How much can these players continue to push out? It's just Fad. Too low HP, and the retake was beautiful and perfectly successful from Tactical Throwers. They have won their pistol round, adding to their lead, and this is where the 5-round lead starts to look scary.
Right. If they're able to convert this next round, it's just inching ever so close to match point. But we have seen in previous maps, not every pistol round has converted into a second round win. We've seen some amazing rounds where they're able to do a thrifty. And look, they're not playing around. Both teams are picking up Spectres. So they definitely want to try to win this second round.
This is their only hope, basically, to continuing their spot in this map, and already the entrance onto A has been fully denied by all of this damaging utility. Yoja again going to smoke it out, and the backup of the players on the side of REBIBE JETT has now rotated all the way through their spawn. I think they're going to go maybe back to B.
Back to B, but there's Killjoy utility waiting for them to, if they decide to go through mid as well as the B site. So we'll be able to make those quick rotates.
I'm a little confused about what Revive Me Jet is doing. They tried to go into A, got denied, backed up, but now there's still two players who are thinking about going onto A site. And some mind games are certainly being played. There's two players pushing A main, and now this tree location is again going to be taken by storm. I don't know if
30
Tactical
seconds
Throwers is
left.
ready for this, but they better be because this hit has now began. Satyr with that opening pick on the Icy Yojo with one of her own, and now Satyr maintaining presence on the site, taking down so many of these players, and it's the 10th round on the board in very quick fashion. What a round coming out from Tactical Throwers. That is how you know that they are in this to win it.
In it to win it, and they were able to make that very painful for Revive Me Jet. So what would typically be their bonus round, they're now having to save because of that gamble that just didn't work out in their favor. The Tactical Thrower is definitely in the advantage for this next round, although Icy does have the Marshall in hand, and we've seen how scary that can be.
Scanning ahead.
It is certainly scary, and as you know, these two previous maps have had leads this large or larger, and we're still close at the end of the day. I think Revive Me
Out of
Jet
charges.
have just as high of a chance of winning this as Tactical Throwers do. They just have to maintain their composure and play how they know they like to play. Tactical Throwers at this point holding kind of back. There's actually one player fully in their spawn
Got
still,
the
and
spike.
we do see that Kea is holding B site
Revealing
majority
area.
with KJ utility.
Yeah, holding back, waiting for Revive Me to kind of make the rotates, trying to make as much noise as possible. They do have a sense that they might be in garage, though, was able to have that turret in there. And you see Kaya trying to gather some information.
Bomb grenade out.
Nothing really happening yet, but just as I say that,
30
Icy
seconds
pushing
left.
on to site, and no one is here to stop the plant from going down. Icy has the Marshall in hand, gonna clear back site and confirm no one is there. Yoja with the first pick on to clutch. That is the only player who was not on site. Every other player for Revive Me Jet is either holding lane or holding site itself. So Tactical Throwers has to be aware of that, and as they push on, Satyr leading the charge, taking down Brain Blast, taking down Icy. It's one left. Bad Sheriff does connect with the head of Satyr, but there were too many still alive for the side of Tactical Throwers. That's going to be 11.
That was a great round from Tactical Throwers. I was a bit worried because there was a lurk in mid, but they beautifully were able to flush that out. They had the drone, were able to spot that player holding and take care of it and do a very successful retake to the point where Revive Me Jet realized they are in troublesome territory. So this timeout is well called, and they're probably thinking, okay, we kind of let this game get away from us. It's almost match point. We don't have many ultimates that are going to be online next. What can we do?
I think we also have to look at how many rounds in a row that this has been. The only rounds, the 4 rounds that Revive Me Jet won were within the first 5 rounds of the entire game. So any round that they can win here is going to prove to themselves that they are not, fully out of it. But that mental looks to be devastating on the side of Revive Me Jet.
You're right. Just the momentum is in the direction of Tactical Towers. Remember earlier on, they did a gamble for the second round of the half. That gamble didn't go their way. So they've been just dealing with that decision for the last 2 rounds. So now they are equipped with rifles in hand. Satyr, though, has an op of their own. It's going to be posted out of A.
Yes, and Satyr gonna be holding out this angle still with the operator no one has swung the angle yet. More presence in mid again. The flash does come out. Seder lucky to get out of that before the operator was going to be down on the ground. But more of a default play from Revive Me Jet, and I have to say I do like it. I think they need to play more off of what Tactical Throwers is doing. Tactical Throwers clearly doing something correct, and now this tree presence going to come in very soon. Icy dashing onto site, taking down Zoe. What a play there. Icy, the bravery finally coming into play, and all of the space having been taken.
Oh.
What?
One enemy remaining.
Seder bringing out the Blade Storm. I mean, that was absolutely so close. I don't know if I thought that Tactical Throwers was going to be able to bring it back, but they certainly did.
Seder again, 22 kills for this map. Doing amazing flicks like that one to take a flying jet out of the sky. Those are the theatrics that we've seen to try to continue to dominate this map. So to the point where we are at match point, and Revive Me Jet aren't looking so hot to try to fight back. It's very mixed by. They're doing a gamble on B, but Seder is waiting for them.
Seder is in fact waiting for them, and even after not having the dash, not having anything,
Ooh.
oh man, to use for util, Clutch gonna be able to be revived. Very, very lucky null command call early in that round. But you hear all of this util going back and forth. Seder able to get one operator pick, but now it's Icy with the operator in hand. There's one bullet in that chamber. 3v3, anything can still happen. The spike gonna be planted easily at this point. And now Icy using the operator instead. Oh my gosh, the 3K. Can we see a fourth? It's just Kea in market. There we go.
Woo.
Icy picking up that operator, and that turned the tide of the entire round.
7 health, doing great work to try to stay in this map. You can feel the adrenaline that Revive Me Jet must be having to just have to stay on this match point to try to climb their way back. And Tactical Throwers even tilted after that round, just trying to make sure they can secure this series without a hitch.
And it should have been a Tactical Throwers round, 100%, just looking at the gun advantage that they had. So I think that this timeout is maybe just talking about not letting um, Revive Me Jet come back at all. I mean, that
Mhm.
was a round they shouldn't have won in the first place, but now that they are going to be on more of a mixed buy, I would say, and instead Revive Me Jet has the better guns, they have to maintain um their their leading mindset. This is the first round Revive Me Jet has won in so many. So they can't let that get to them.
Yeah, if you remember the first map, this is a similar scenario where Revive Me Jet were down and they continued to climb back. It didn't go in their direction, but it was kind of close. So Tactical Throwers knows this. They know they're capable of a comeback. So trying to rethink, slow things down while they're in this mixed buy.
Is a slower round right off the bat. Revive Me Jet not pushing anything. They are waiting so patiently for Tactical Throwers to make a move. But the stack on A is preventing Tactical Throwers from doing anything of the sort. They don't even have a lot of eyes in mid. And Fad's drone gonna spot some KJ utility, but I don't think it's going to see much else. And this is gonna signal that B site is more or less free as long as they can destroy enough of that KJ utility to push on.
Well, Kaya at the back of the site, hearing all of this util to try to get onto site, has been baiting some rotates, so now there's some eyes on mid, a drone in mid to try to spot out what could be going on the other side.
Placing swarm grenade.
I know that Gigi saw Zoe peeking out of that tree location, and this is again where the time pressure may be making a stand. Revive Me Jet has now 30 seconds to get onto
30
site and
seconds left.
plant, and they have fully rotated over to A where the
Oh,
majority of tactical throwers is hiding. They have to get onto site quickly or this is just going to be a timeout.
that dart was so powerful. It hit so many members of.
Here we go. Icy has the operator in hand, continuing to push on to site. 10 seconds left. They're going to be able to plant
Spike
this.
planted.
And now the retake is tactical throwers. That is what they need to do here. Satyr pushing forward, but Icy's
Oh.
operator does not take down Satyr. Low HP on Icy, but I don't think it's enough to make the operator any less powerful. Kills going back and forth for both sides, just down to Satyr here, and the Hunter's Fury too much to combat. That is going to be a 6th round to Revive Me Jet, and maybe that momentum has started to shift, but we still need 6 perfect rounds to bring this anywhere near overtime.
It's gonna have to be perfect. Like I was saying, that knife that came out from Zoe was able to slow down the push from Revive Me Jet. It hit basically all of the members outside of A. And so I was thinking it could go in their direction, but the weapons advantage was just too much. So I see now back on the operator. They're posted outside of A, but taking another slow round to try to feel things out.
I see holding with that operator over in market and now going to rotate back over. I think waiting even to that 10-second mark did work out well for Revive Me Jet in the previous round. So I think they're thinking to continue with the slow push. The drone gonna come out early from Fad. Does clear wine and sees that there are at least one tactical thrower members on site. They do not see the other 2 though, and in the previous round they pushed into 3 anyway and it worked out for them. So they're going to continue with this. GG with the opening pick on to Satyr. That is massive. This retake almost already not going to happen for tactical throwers. Brain Blast sticking the plant, and even despite the full buy from tactical throwers, they are a man down, and Satyr is the one who has fallen.
Okay, GG is also on the lurk to try to slow this retake down as well.
Remaining.
Oh, and this lockdown might be the one thing that allows Zoe to stick the defuse, but Fad just waiting. Oh, and this, you just know it's going to be a ton of teasing, and Zoe is never going to be able to hold this. Yeah, the push from Tree and from main. The split push, brilliant play. When you can't destroy the lockdown, you just have to outsmart the enemy.
3 rounds down for Revive Me Jet, trying to claw their way back into this. And they are playing it with such confidence. So we saw, again, GG on the lurk, and that ended up coming up beautifully with that split approach to try to defend the spike. So this time Tactical Thrower is on a save, which you can see how aggressive they are with many of the members in mid.
And we also have seen what Revive Me Jet has done on a save. So Satyr with that Stinger pushing on the side. I love the Stinger here. Brain Blast caught with the utility out. The Stinger cannot do much more, and suddenly we are down to just 2 members left for Tactical Throwers, and both of them are holding out in mid. Spike hasn't even been planted yet, and 3 members of Tactical Throwers are down and out of this round. Fad hoping to put another one there, and that is exactly what happens. Wow, 8 rounds for Revive Me Jet. I thought that this was going to be over way sooner than it has been.
Yeah, no, they've, again, just been awake right at the right moment. Well, I don't know about the right moment, but at the last moment possible to try to stay in this map. I mean, it's still going to be a climb, but at least this time they do have 3 ultimates available to try push on the site. Blade Storms typically have been popped pretty early. as they have been popped right now.
Yes, exactly. There we go. We're going to be pushing on the site. Revive Me Jet wanting to continue their aggression. Orbital Strike does come down over in tree, but no one is there to take the brunt of that. Spike gonna be quickly
You shall
planted, and then
not.
GG waiting for the lockdown to further secure it. This is not looking good for tactical throwers at all. They cannot destroy that lockdown, and this is their buy round too, Delta. They really have to make it work.
Just so
Hunter's
much
Fury.
invested.
Yeah, exactly. The Hunter's Fury did not do much. Door has now been destroyed, and Juno with that opening pick is. This could be it. This
One
could
enemy
absolutely be
remaining.
No
it. Oh my
way.
gosh, not the molly kill. Gigi falling, the last one who had the hope of securing that for Revive Me
Defenders
Jet,
win.
and there we go. I am in shock, Delta. I did not know which way that round was gonna go, but tactical throwers.
Wow, tactical throwers were able to secure that. That was such an amazing series. We said it was going to be a close one, but I didn't know it was going to be this close. Revive Me Jet almost was able to bring it back. But when you have plays like that, and when you have Satyr on
Mhm.
top of the leaderboard, just making valuable kill after kill, you're able to secure the series. So congrats to tactical throwers.
It was a great game. I feel like the first one was semi-close, and then we had the second and third be like, okay, well, we're getting into the territory of almost a stomp here. So, I'm guessing maybe just the map picks that made them a lot more comfortable. But guys, I mean, you guys looked excited casting this game. I would be excited as well. It was a really exciting one. So, was there anything that was like a wow factor to you?
Impressed that tactical throwers were able to neutralize IC and FAD. So we talked a lot about them yesterday being able to get the initial picks on both the attack and the defense, and from there things just tumbled. But tactical throwers were very tactical in terms of their utility and how they were able to use a smoke, use the killjoy utility to be able to neutralize them. So that was great work on their half.
I
Yeah,
think
and
especially on that last map, Gompers, we saw Satyr kind of come into her own. I was a little bit worried on the previous two. As you said, Delta Icy was kind of dominating that Jet player, but Satyr, brilliant, brilliant plays on that last map to secure the win.
okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, good job answering that question. It was very informational. But continuing on, finishing up at least them now, we do see that tactical throws is going to be able to move on to the next game. So proceeding to that, Delta. Do you know what is probably going to happen? What has happened to these other teams behind the scenes, and what the bracket's looking like now?
So I've been so invested in this game. I have no idea what's happening on the other side of the bracket, but I do know that whoever wins between Randos versus FXP tactical throws will be facing. And for that matchup, I think that again, it's gonna just be a close game. These games have been so close. The team that we don't think that will, take the advantage ends up taking the advantage. There's been comebacks after comebacks. This Game Changers Academy is one of the closest we've ever seen.
It definitely is. But to answer your question, Delta, Randos actually won against
Okay.
FXP. So Tactical Throwers is going to be going against Randos. Everybody else on the bracket hasn't finished their games yet, it seems. So not really knowing who we're going to be able to see go up next. But yeah, stay tuned. Delta, Jojo, it was really, really fun to be able to work with you guys again. Do you have any last words, Delta?
No, it's a pleasure as usual to be able to cast these games. There have been so many teams just coming out of nowhere to show
Mhm.
their stuff and have been so impressive. And I can't wait to see them continue to grow, continue to compete, and be able to make it into the next Game Changers.
Okay, Jojo, if you want to take the stage too, you
Yeah.
can.
It's always great when I get to cast that top 8 match, and then I'm also gonna be here for the finals tomorrow because you can see if one of the teams that you saw earlier in the tournament has made it all the way to the final matchup. But whoever makes it there, I know it's gonna be a very exciting game, so I'm not gonna leave you guys just yet, and I will catch you tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you guys very, very shortly with a new pair of casters. Grab a snack and we will be back.